Hello, everyone. Welcome to this international conference on virtual reality. In this fifth edition, we have moved ahead from a normal VR to a very complex world of virtual reality, augmented reality, and we have also seen that artificial intelligence, generative AI, it has changed the landscape. And now the landscape we are talking about is not just industry or it is not just services. Actually, education has got a lot. Education suffers a lot, but education is also one domain which gets rewarded with maybe limitless resources that come from innovative technologies. Now, virtual reality is something in which we get acceptance of that collaboration, that participation. We make it easy for the participants to join the process of learning. That is something like you make them part of it. I mean, that immersive technologies, as we call them, so that they get into it. So this is the topic that I'm presenting to you, which is the third decade of 21st century. That is why this is 321 revolution in language learning. Language learning can be termed English here today because my subject of teaching is English, but we can treat it with, like, we can talk about any foreign language. It can be someone coming to India and learning Hindi. It can be someone going to Uzbekistan or being in Uzbekistan willing to learn Russian or Uzbek, or it can be someone who wants to learn maybe French or Spanish or Chinese as well. So we are talking about the use of or the scope, the possibilities that we have about AR and VR, and what exactly is this call to action for you and me who are teaching in Uzbekistan and in India as well. Because these two countries, or this part of the world, which is considered maybe the second world, has got a great scope of using technologies. Now, this is just a small thing. I mean, we can see Uzbekistan has got Uzbek language more, but India is someone who is quite fortunate that English has never remained an obsolete language. It actually became the lingua franca, or the common language for most of us. The reason is that it has been taught right from the beginning in the schools. In Uzbekistan, that is not the reality. We are going to talk about it in detail. So Wikipedia says that India has got Hindi and English more, Punjabi is there, and then Uzbekistan has got Uzbek and Russian as well accepted there. Now, the establishment of virtual reality and augmented reality as educational verticals, I mean, these are not just technologies anymore. They are complete educational domains. It is not just about using VR, it is about actually developing it, and the degrees or the diplomas or the trainings that have come. So I see it through those discussions and deliberations and collaborations as well. Professor Ramesh Sharma knows it very well when we talk about VR and we talk about using it for inclusive education. We have a new world coming up in distance education and online education, which is going to talk about inclusiveness. So VR distance education and VR online education is going to happen in India. If we look at the scope of VR, we're talking about the national education policy. Professor Yashpal Sharma has also talked about it. The government is doing a lot. They are making policies. They are investing in it. In the private universities as well as industry has done tremendous work in it, that they have developed courses on VR and they are providing it. Now, that is something that we have adapted to and we have accepted in this post-COVID world. The pandemic pedagogy has taught us that we need to come up with the sustainability of education, and VR, virtual reality, is actually going to hold our hand and make us feel more strong that way. So in India, or talking about any other country, we have got public resources and private resources. In India, private universities have been developing a lot. Amity has been doing great work in it, where I work. Like, they have developed an AI tutor as well, who comes and deliver lectures, and it will be something like immersive as well when we go to the second level of technology, where we see participants selecting their avatars, and then there is a virtual classroom which is happening. Uzbekistan also has the same feature. The government these days is investing a lot in technology. The president of Uzbekistan has declared this year as the year of IT as well as English. So they have got different initiatives. Digital universities are coming up here. So what digital and online universities will be doing? What will this online degree is going to do? Like, this virtual reality is going to be integral to it, and this is going to be the main tool. Now, what I suggest in the use of virtual reality or any technology related to VR, and teaching English through it, or English is just an example, teaching any other language as well. So we need to develop virtual platforms like Verbella, or Elsa is also there, which uses AI or error finding as well. Microsoft Teams also has got AI features in which you speak and it finds those errors of pronunciation. So Verbella is one. Then we have got more virtual platforms where a world is being created, you have avatars and then they interact with each other. That is like a gamification getting into virtual reality. So we need to bring these. We need to also we also need to think about AI based applications and platforms to check our assessments. I mean, to develop assessment tools of VR and augmented reality for speaking practice. And we need to bring up assistance in applications. Now this is something that we all educators who are in this conference should look at. The problem areas, I mean the pain areas where we actually have challenge and we need to accept it. The reason is like, to solve any problem we have to first accept that there is a problem. So there is a problem. What are the problems or the challenges? In India, the acquisition issues of language, be it any language, any new language to others. Our case is talking about English. Vividness of the Indian linguistic landscape is a trouble. The skill gaps of teachers across the country. Wherever you're talking about, their skills will be different. About exposure to technology, we are not talking about their knowledge of English or any other language. We are talking whether they are comfortable with the technology, and do we have accessibility as the primary feature, and do we have enough global exposure, collaborations among educators, among people in educational industry. The positive thing about India would be that they have a strong foundation and they do have a rise of technologies and rise of maybe the scope is also happening. So that is something positive about it. What about Uzbekistan then? In Uzbekistan, the challenge, because English has never been a part or a course at the school level. So maybe a larger part of population in Uzbekistan does not speak English at all and they do not understand it at all. Their complete focus or complete understanding of Uzbekistan's national language Uzbek and Russian is there. Now that is a challenge. They do not have enough trained teachers of English. If we talk about all teachers who are teaching their own other subjects also other than languages, so this is a challenge for them. Less acceptance of English as the lingua franca is also there. Understood as we talk about it that it got introduced in the modern times, not in the previous ages. So, and technology challenges are always there, be it India, be it the US, be it here in Uzbekistan or Tashkent. We do have technology challenges that we need to develop those, that ecosystem in which everything is safe as well. And it is also affordable in terms of time, in terms of money. The positive thing is that the demand for English language, the demand for a foreign language like English and other foreign languages, the demand is quite high, which will ultimately motivate the virtual reality landscape, the companies to develop such things. What is this call to action then when we are talking about the third decade of 21st century revolution in language learning with AR, VR, call to action in India and Uzbekistan? I have been a teacher in India. My co-author is also a teacher in India. And then I'm talking about my work in Uzbekistan where we have started using and developing ideas about VR. What are these things? We have developed blogs, we have done quizzes and vlogs. We have thought of an application like a car racing in which you become an avatar and then you're running and then you pick up correct answers of grammar questions which are given to you. So all these things. And why I'll give this call to action to all of you. Don't think that some product will come from Verbella or from Microsoft or from Google. You need to start at your most personal level, and then this will happen, that VR will become more affordable, more acceptable. So the call to action in this complete conference of international level where we are talking about virtual reality is to make virtual reality go real. We need to come up with this call to action where we start by making it integral part of our personal projects as well. So this is one thing. The case I'm presenting to you is an educator coming from India teaching Uzbek students English and public speaking as well, or communicative English as well. What we did, we went from normal methodology to innovative methodology and collaborative learning, which is project-based learning and making collaborations with students. This is just one snapshot of the blog as well as the podcasts which are there. So this has made them ready to go for their avatars, and avatars are like just going to another level of emojis. So we have done this much, and then now the next step that we have done as a call to action we have taken, so that we can present it in next year, that those headset are there, and then with that thing, like that VR headset is there. So what they do is they're wearing it, and then they are searching for answers. The answer is this side, the wrong answer is this side, so they quickly hit this side, and then it comes away. And then more features, I mean, they create a complete world of their own, not a fictional one, but that tour of the campus can be done. Tour of in tourism also VR is being used. So these are certain scopes or demands or areas where students or teachers can develop certain things with the help of industry, not without them. So these are certain things that I would read out to you, that we are going to, and what we need to do is that students should be actually the angels, the agents of this change. Give them the command to develop these things. Open source tools are must for all. We cannot have everything paid, and move from simple to complex rather than moving on complex to simple. So move from simple and common contexts to specific contexts when you develop any language material through VR, and you know your learners. Inclusive content for all segments, not just gender, not just the social status. Think of people who are maybe physically and mentally challenged in any way, so you need to develop things for them. I mean, underprivileged is not just about economy, it is also about the mental health of people. And the last thing not to forget, it is not the least important, it is the most important thing, that virtual reality must be handled with internet maturity. You need to be mature enough, you need to be a digitally skilled person who knows how to manage it. So this is the call to action, in which I call for collaboration, I call for readiness, acceptance for it, and I call for less questions on virtual reality and more confidence about it. So you be self-confident, I be self-confident, and then we move on to accept virtual reality for the classroom, just treating it as a normal chalkboard or as just normal a projector that we had. That will make it easy for VR to become our actual reality, just as a positive resource. Thank you so much, and we hope you'll be enjoying all of the presentations also, and together we all will make a better world of learning. Thank you. Good luck.